Oh, hello, this is Tak Chung from Walk with Tak. This is a YouTube channel to promote home cooking as part of your daily routine. I use my fast cooking system, which is flavor chasing, advanced prepping, stir frying, and template-based cooking. That will allow you to cook a meal from scratch using all fresh ingredients in less than 30 minutes with food that will promote your long-term health and longevity. Stir frying is the engine of the fast cooking system because stir frying is probably the most efficient cooking method. With stir frying, you can cook a meal in less than 30 minutes with fresh ingredients that is healthy and delicious. The previous two videos that I posted to help people who are new in stir frying to understand some of the basic elements that make stir frying practical and effective. In the first video, I show beginners how to start with a new wok and how to learn the characteristics of the cooking stove that they will be using for stir frying. In this video, I use a Cucina 14-inch stainless steel wok as an example. This wok has a natural surface, so in the second video, I demonstrate how to season a wok with natural surface to create a non-stick cook surface. This method is known as spot seasoning, and by seasoning the wok each time before I start a cooking session, I will be able to create a non-stick cook surface. However, as described in the previous video, in order to carry out this spot seasoning method, the oil has to be heated to its smoking point. Even though I try to minimize the oil film production, nevertheless, it is better to avoid or reduce this process as much as possible. In this video, I would like to discuss the different degree of spot seasoning. In some situations, spot seasoning is absolutely essential and require a longer time period, whereas in some other situations, spot seasoning is unnecessary, and most of the time when you cook, it is somewhere in between. Unlike cast iron or carbon steel wok, a stainless steel wok do not hold on to the seasonings. Every time when you wash it, even with water, the seasoning will be washed away. So next time when you cook, food will immediately stick and burn to the surface of the wok. With my spot seasoning method, this becomes not a problem at all. Because each cooking session, before I start, I can season the wok, and it takes only about 10 to 15 seconds. And I will be guaranteed that I have a wok surface that has non-stick cook property. And of course, you can do the same with cast iron and carbon steel wok if necessary. And when I first start using the stainless steel wok, I will do the spot seasoning each time before I cook, no matter what I was cooking. And then I discovered very quickly is that not all type of food ingredients require a non-stick cook surface. This leads me to the idea that depend on the food ingredients that I cook. In some cases, I do not need to spot season the wok at all. This will greatly reduce the generation of oil films. And once I achieved that realization, I was able to reduce the oil film generation in my kitchen by as much as 70%. So here is a general rule that food ingredients that you should spot season, and you should spot season the wok really well. And this includes any type of eggs that you cook in it, particularly when you fry an egg. This also includes things like scrambled eggs or egg omelette. Other type of food ingredients that spot seasoning is essential is any food that include a large amount of carbohydrate. This includes food ingredients such as fried rice. And if you don't season the wok well, this would cause a problem with the fried rice sticking and burning. This is also true when you try to make chow mein or pan-fried noodles. The third type of situation that the spot seasoning is important is when you do shallow frying. You coat the food ingredient, mainly meat, such as chicken, shrimp, or pork, with cornstarch. In this situation, if your wok is not well seasoned, they will stick and burn. However, when you stir-fry vegetables, almost any kind of vegetables, the tendency for the vegetable to stick and burn to the surface of the wok is very low. In this case, all you have to do is to heat up the oil, and you don't have to go through the spot seasoning process. So this will reduce any oil film generation. And in this case, you can add any type of meat to the wok. As long as you stir fry the vegetable first, you don't have to worry about the meat sticking to the bottom of the wok. And this includes chicken, shrimp, pork, or beef. However, if you're going to stir fry the meat first, then you definitely should spot season the wok before you cook the meat. In this case, because you do not have the vegetable to serve as a buffer. However, there are certain things that you cook. Whether you spot season the wok or not, it really makes no difference. They will stick and burn to the wok anyway. And one good example is garlic. Anytime when you saute garlic, there's a tendency for the garlic to stick and burn to the surface of the wok, even though you might have spot seasoned the wok very well. Now, we are all very interested, and we should be, to minimize oil fumes generation during stir frying. Certain dishes, oil fume generations is almost inevitable. For example, if you want to shallow fry some chicken, by coating them with cornstarch first, you will inevitably have oil fume generation. But you can avoid this by adding the chicken directly, say, to a vegetable. The chicken might not taste as good, but then you can reduce the oil fume generation. This is also true when you cook shrimp or fish. Heat management is also very important when it comes to oil fume generation. Stir frying is definitely more exciting when it's cooked under high heat. In some of this situation, the amount of heat is so great, it is not fast enough to use a stirrer to distribute the food without them getting burned. And you will see cook actually tossing the food in the air. This is the best way to mix up the food ingredients. This type of method is only practical in a professional kitchen where you have excellent ventilation. In a home kitchen environment, you want to control as much as possible with the least amount of fume that are being generated. Oil fume definitely pose a health hazard. If at all possible, stir frying in a home kitchen should be performed under a exhaust hood. Oil fume definitely is a form of pollution, and it should be avoided as much as possible. Over the years, I have learned to reduce the generation of oil fumes in my stir frying, and it is actually quite doable. I find that by paying more attention in what I am doing, I'm able to make this accommodation actually quite easily. And by taking these precautions, as well, to be able to cook under a exhaust hood, you will have no problem in any danger in terms of oil fume causing health hazard. Actually, it turned out to be the key is not to follow those people who do stir frying on YouTube. As my friend John often said to me, they are there to entertain rather than to teach. I hope that I have provided you with a good starting point in your stir frying, both in terms of the equipment that you need, how you manage the heat, as well as to avoid any hazardous outcome. Okay, so keep on cooking. I will see you next time.